Hello, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to this June 1st meeting of the Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation. And as our custom is, to begin with a prayer and pledge, and I'm going to call on Mr. Ricky Turner for that.
Thank you. Well, you know, with all the tragedy that's went on the last few weeks, the shootings in Buffalo, the school shootings, and as we celebrated Memorial Day week, all our veterans who lost their life in active duty and combat, we just want to give a moment of silence at this time. Amen. Let's now stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Turner. If you have in front of you minutes from our last meeting, and if you'll review those for a second, and then I'll entertain a motion that we hopefully approve those minutes.
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Thank you very much. First order of business today is John Powers is going to tell us about the Seagull Soccer Affiliate Team program fees. This is something that we talked a little bit about last month.
Thank you very much, Mr. Miller. Commissioners, it's good to see you all again. As you know, I'm here to represent the Seagull Soccer Complex Affiliate Team Program. Just a brief recap of what we're trying to accomplish with this program. We're essentially giving local youth soccer leagues that currently partner with us and utilize our fields heavily an opportunity to partner with us in order to provide fees to us per season on a per player basis. The idea behind what we're trying to do is continue to benefit the city and the Seagull Soccer Complex while also bringing a benefit to Murfreesboro residents that isn't present in our current fee structure. So when I presented this at the last meeting, the main topic of conversation that came up was the % discount that we were offering in the structure for Murfreesboro residents. Previously, under our initial proposal, we were offering a 10% discount for Murfreesboro residents of each team as opposed to non-residents. So we've gotten together a couple times, kind of done a heavy study of our fees and reevaluated where we can kind of find a point where we are bringing a greater benefit and focus on Murfreesboro residents that are members of the team while also not impacting the city's bottom line. So we've reached a new fee structure, which is outlined on the partnership sheet, which you have. So our current discount is now nearly 30% for Murfreesboro residents as opposed to non-residents. So we're looking at charging each organization $120 per player per team for residents, and now up to $165 for non-residents. So we feel there we've reached a much more kind of equitable solution, not only for the city and the organizations, but for the residents of Murfreesboro that we're really trying to impact, as well as attract to our programs and fields. With that, we're open to any questions.
Yeah, questions for John?
So it doesn't matter if you live in Rutherford County or in Nashville, it's just the two rates.
Yeah, the emphasis is on city residency.
Right.
Yes.
And this is only for select our rec soccer rec program that MSC provides will not change. That's still $10 per person. It's only for the select teams. So travel.
Good point.
I appreciate y'all doing the work on it. I'm certainly more comfortable with that number.
Mr. Chairman, if I could really quickly and just say thanks for taking this back up. We did meet a couple times to look at this. I wasn't here last time. So our staff got together, met, and we all met together and discussed what we think might be and kind of listened to what the commission as a whole, the desire was in bringing it back. So it's critical for us to, if approved, go ahead and get this implemented so our leagues can go ahead and put this in their budget and they know what they can tell their participants what to expect. We don't expect to meet in July, which is the reason we wanted to make sure we brought this back to you this month for consideration is the reason for the short agenda.
Very good. Any other questions for Mr. Powers? If not, I'll entertain a motion that we approve the partnership program fee change.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? There are none. Thank you, John, very much.
Thank you,
Good work on
Commissioners.
this, y'all. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you as well. Thank you.
Very great. Okay, next item of new business, Angie Keating is going to give us several updates. First one on the Special Olympics.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Angie Keating. I'm the coordinator for the Miracle League, and Thomas asked me to just give everybody an update on what we've been doing for the Special Olympics. We're starting off, I think that'll run. There we go. So what we had the Special Olympics on May 9th and 10th. This is just showing the Sheriff's Department and the City Police Department carrying the torch in to begin the Special Olympics. It was held on the 9th and 10th at MTSU. Go to the next slide. Oh, there you go. Opening ceremonies included a parade of athletes led by our own Homer from the Miracle League. The athletes from high schools, group homes, and day programs that participated on the first day for competition. These are just a few more of our athletes enjoying the day. The second day consisted of all of our elementary and middle school participants. Every athlete participated in some sort of running event, whether it was a 100-meter run up to a 25-meter walk. The athletes in the high school and adult divisions competed to represent our area in the state games in Nashville at Davidson, or Lipscomb Academy, excuse me. Just a huge enjoyment of the whole day. And as I said before, Tuesday, May 10th, was reserved for all of our youth. And as you can see, we had several happy faces that day as well. The athletes also competed in standing long jump and the running long jump. The softball throw had the most participation in the elementary and middle school athletes. I think that we had over 85, I believe is maybe possibly more than that, since there was a couple of hundred that really enjoyed the softball throw. And the adults enjoyed that as well. Each athlete was recognized over the PA by our own Tam Clark. I know you guys are familiar with Tam, and were presented a medal for each event. There were several of our athletes who received multiple medals. Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Fitness and Wellness Departments made sure that everybody was warmed up properly for their events. Our athletes really enjoyed being able to do that, and it just gives them a real sense of what a true track and field event is about. And these are our athletes. We had student athletes from MTSU, Central Magnet School, Oakland High School cheer that lined up and cheered everybody in as they walked in and helped them get to their locations. We had really good, positive comments about the MTSU athletes that really came out there, and a lot of those athletes came out and participated with me at Miracle League that Saturday because they didn't want to stop the party, evidently, so that was good. And these are a few of our athletes from across the county. And that's all there is for Special Olympics. So if we can go, y'all have any questions about that?
Saw smiles on everybody's faces.
Yes.
Volunteers and the athletes.
Mr. Chairman, this is the first year that we took on hosting the Special Olympics. How many? We had almost 600 kids, or
Yes.
participants, I'm sorry, and then adults and some of the high school kids and people on the first day. But it was amazing experience. We're going to make it bigger and better every year, and I encourage you next year to come out and enjoy as much as you can. Our goal next year is to fill the stands with people that are there to cheer these athletes on. And it was a lot of hard work by Angie, Brittany, Thomas, and staff. And I want to echo something she said about all the people who came and helped, the cheerleaders, the athletes, but specifically I called Christmas RO the next day, but the MTSU football players that participated had a very distinct impact on the event as a whole. And I learned more about some of them. So just say it in this forum that those MTSU athletes and those football players specifically are something special and should be proud of for the community.
One of them specifically has a special needs little brother.
Yeah.
And he lives in Alabama, and he's like, it was just really good to be able to have that communication like he does with his little brother. He said, I just like going out and playing. So it was neat.
So there's a challenge issued for all of you to come out next year and help us out, sit in the stands, and then just enjoy cheering some kids.
We're in.
Yeah.
Very good.
So
You got something on Miracle League updates?
Yes, sir. So we have the end of this will be our 5th year in Miracle League. We weren't able to do it during COVID, but this Friday evening and Saturday morning we'll be doing the last of our games. Had a total of 120 athletes for this spring season. Had 6 youth teams, 6 adult teams, and that gave us the opportunity to be able to play on Friday nights. So we have games Friday nights 6 and 7, and then on Saturdays 9, 10, 11, and 12. Makes for a long weekend for us, but it's just rewarding in itself. So we have a really good time with that. As you can see, the prices, they get out pretty often to come watch the games. And I find them very often FaceTiming David so that he can watch himself and still kind of stay in the background, but it's neat. One of the big things that we do at the Miracle Field is to have our buddy system throughout. What am I missing? Oh. And these are just a couple of photos of our players that play throughout the season. Murfreesboro Police Department was able to come out. That's a huge thing for the police department and for our players, because it's important for them to see that those people that are in uniform are their friends. And so if they ever meet them in a dangerous situation, that they feel comfortable to go to those people, because those are people that are going to help them and not something to be afraid of. So we end up with a lot of badges on players throughout the day, but they have a really good time, and it's a good communication, good opening up for the city for us.
Very good.
Any questions on Miracle League?
I just got a question. Do you guys put those game schedules or just some note on the calendar, like our Parks and Rec event calendar? I don't think I remember seeing it. I don't know that I really studied for this, but when I've looked at the calendar from time to time, I don't think I remember seeing those on there. Just might be a good idea.
Yeah, we advertise these in a different way, but we will start including those on the calendar in the spring and fall seasons to make sure that we can implement that on those Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah, just from time to time, I get on that calendar to look and just kind of, hey, what's going on this weekend or whatever, if I want to go do what.
Yeah, it's worth stopping by. We can do that on the general Parks and Rec Facebook page and our calendar. Angie does a great job with the Miracle League Facebook page, keeping everybody up to date, and also sharing the pictures of the participants and their buddies is a fun thing too. But we'll do that moving in
For
to the fall
those of us
season.
not on Facebook.
Yeah, sorry. Make sure.
If you want to boost the feel good, just go out there on Saturday morning. I mean, they got the music going on, and
Oh, yes.
it's happening out there.
Well, it's important for our players. They get the whole experience. They have walk-up music. They have a buddy that helps them facilitate through the game. And I tell the buddies all the time, like 9 times out of 10, they're not going to want to talk about baseball. They want to talk about whatever they're going to do that weekend. You know, if they're going to see their Nana and Grandpa that day, or if they're going to get and get ice cream afterwards. Have some of my players that are promised that if they don't throw their bat, then they get to go get special ice creams afterwards. So all of those things are different.
I'm sorry to interject again, but one of the things that's amazing with this is that you see, when I've heard the stories of some of our youth buddies from baseball and softball teams that are coming, and it's really bridging the gaps with their fellow students at school, so they get to see them and interact with them in a way they otherwise wouldn't have had the opportunity to if they hadn't worked with them on the weekends.
Absolutely.
Did I understand you say there's 2 seasons, a spring and a fall?
Yes, sir.
What are the what's the timing or the months for the fall season?
Fall season will start towards the end of August. We take a break, of course, at the beginning of June, and then going through the middle of August because of the heat. I have a lot of my players who can't regulate their body temperatures.
Sure.
And we've been fortunate to have misters, fans and misters that are in the dugouts. But at the end of the day, that pour-in-place field just is hot. We've done as much as we can, and so we just take that time out. We'll start end of August, and we'll go to right before fall break, which is the beginning of October.
Okay.
And then there again, gets too cold for everybody. And so we'll take a break through the winter time and then start back up in the spring.
Great. Appreciate that.
Sure.
Anything else, Angie?
Got one more.
Yeah, got one more. All-Star game.
The All-Star. So we have been fortunate to be selected to host the All-Star games in this fall, in September 16th through 18th. We will host 120 players from all over the United States and Mexico here in our wonderful city. We'll have between 500 and 600 people total for the weekend. So we're going to need a lot of help from city police. Talk to the fire chief, ask him if we could maybe have a fire truck out there for everybody and all of those good things. We'll host all of them at the Embassy Suites. We'll have an event on Friday night at SportsCom. Lord willing, the sun stays out and we get to use Burrow Beach that night. And then Friday, they'll meet their buddy for the weekend. Our intention is to have all of our baseball teams set up with one specific team, so they meet them Friday night. And they're on, I mean, it's travel ball for them. So they'll be able to have their team for the weekend. They'll meet their coach Friday night and then have their games on Saturday. And then we'll have a lovely banquet at the Embassy Suites on Saturday night. And Project 1-4 obviously has always been heavily involved. And I actually talked to Debbie on the way over here. They've already gotten transportation sponsors, and they themselves, Project 1-4, is heavily involved in what we're doing for the All-Star. But it's a national event, and I've been to 3 so far, and I can already tell you ours is going to be better. So,
Right. All right.
any questions on that?
What are the dates again?
September 16th through 18th. The players will be traveling in. There's a lot of them that are traveling in early and staying late, just because it's really easy for a lot of them to get to. The other All-Stars have been in Sioux City, Iowa, Findlay, Ohio, and Houston, Texas. And the Miracle League itself was founded down in Conyers, Georgia, which is just outside of Atlanta. And so the majority of the leagues are down in the Southeast. And a lot of these players are not comfortable flying. And so when we had to cap it at 120, it was hard, but you have to, because you have to get to a certain point what we can manage. 6 games on a Saturday is going to be a lot. But just to be able to have that experience for them and these families that can travel and drive in instead of flying in, it makes it more convenient for the special needs families.
Job well
I
done.
want to miss.
Thank you so much.
Sure, you're welcome.
Very good. I think that's all of our new business. So Melinda Tate, you're going to tell us about our upcoming events? Sure. I bet there's a bunch.
Mr. Chairman, while she's getting that ready, if I could just give one quick update. I know people are interested in seeing what's happening at Siegel Soccer Complex. We're nearing substantial completion on our our 7th field, I should say. So all 7 of our outdoor fields should be complete in the next 2 weeks. And then right now the electrical is going in. That should, in the indoor facility, that should take another, I think, 2.5 months. So we're looking at a substantial completion for all 8 synthetic turf fields and our 100,000 square foot indoor complex. Sometime, hopefully in October, is what we're shooting for. So after they finish the electrical, then we have to put in the field in the indoor facility, and then the netting system and the safety system with padding. So I just want to give a quick update. I know when I'm out, that's probably the most common question I get is, when is that going to be done? We're a couple weeks from having all of our outdoor fields done, and then we'll just be waiting on the indoor facility.
I have a question on the topic, and I'm specifically talking about the state soccer tournament. What are the plans for future seating? And if there is none, then I would suggest that maybe Oakland High School, Siegel High School, in the semifinals might, host a game because of the seating. I think it'd be much more comfortable than what we have right now.
Yeah, that's something we could absolutely take a look at. Right now, we have the funds. Once we really get the project complete, we have areas that are concrete pads where we're going to bring in more, bleachers for the regular fields.
Okay.
So that's been improved through some of the site work and some of the grading that we have there. So I think you can look at that when we're complete, and I think we can take a good evaluation of how well we can accommodate. But I think the complex as a whole is really well suited to host large events very comfortably, especially when complete. And I can't give enough credit to JP and Brittany for making it work even now. The types of tournaments that we are hosting with really a facility that's under construction for the past 2 years is what it's been. So I think once we see it complete, it'll be a much more comfortable place to be able to enjoy the total experience.
Thank you.
Nate, you said this has been going on for a couple years now. We've got a few more months to go out to October this year. Did you experience budget-wise any hits with the really run-up in material costs over the last couple of years?
Fortunately, we haven't. We haven't had any change orders based on material cost. We did experience some increased cost when we paused the project at the onset of COVID because we went ahead with just the first 4 fields. When we repriced the second 4 fields, that was the only material cost. And I think the second phase of field went up, I think, $200,000 just on materials, but that's been the only thing. And right now, we're still under our original budget and the funds that we have allocated.
And then tell me one more time, you've shared it with me in the past, but when all is said and done, we will have a total of how many fields at Siegel, and how many will be natural grass versus synthetic, and then there's the inside facility. Give me that total.
Brittany, correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll have 21 fields, 8 of which will be synthetic surface, and one of those synthetic surface will be covered with a 100,000 square foot indoor structure. And we're working right now, staff is, on pricing for what the indoor structure will look like. That won't fit into our affiliate program. That will be basically a straight rental. We've got some really exciting things that we're working on with the facility and some of our partners bringing in that we'll be unveiling in the next coming months, but that will be something to come.
Thank you.
Okay, Melinda.
Good afternoon. First of all, happy Global Running Day. I'm sure you've all got your run in today, but if you haven't, it's too late to sign up for our big run tonight at the Gateway Island. So run to your mailbox, running your mouth and running out of time does not count.
Running for city council.
Also today was the registration opened for the middle half, my favorite event. We're limited to 1,500 participants. And when we opened this morning, we were getting about 1 registrant a minute. So I think it's set to sell out this year. The event is October 8th at 7 a.m., start and finish on Main Street, finish around the square. And you can go to themiddlehalf.com to register. Boat Day, this is a program we partner with Stones River Watershed Association. Saturday, June 25th, it's at the Manson Pike Trailhead off of Searcy Street, 9 to 12. It's free. We will bring out everything you need, the kayaks, canoes, are they called paddles or oars, Rachel? Either one? Paddles. We do recommend you keep your cell phone in your car, but yes, we'll have the PFDs, the personal flotation devices, and it's a good way to test out some different watercraft to see what you like, if your kids would be interested in it before you go out and buy one. So that, again, is Saturday, June 25th. And our very popular Movies Under the Stars, once again, we will have them 4 nights a week at different locations. And the schedule of what the movie is each week can be found on our website and on Facebook. At Mondays, they are at Barfield Crescent Park. Thursdays, Richard Siegel Neighborhood Park. Fridays, Patterson Park, and Saturdays at the fountains at Gateway. And they start this coming Monday. Wow. And they also are free. Our Juneteenth celebration, we have extended it to 3 days. The first night is Author's Night, and it will be a meet and greet with some local authors, and they will be discussing their writing processes. Kaleidoscope is something new, and it's a diverse collection of resources. We will have lots of vendors there who will also be there. Some will be there the next day for our Freedom Day celebration. But this is a good way to meet with some of our vendors, and again, so diverse. It will be a fun night and a good way to network with a lot of people. And then Juneteenth, Freedom Day, will be Saturday, June 18th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is a family-friendly festival, and this year we are expanding it to 3 blocks, and it will begin right in front of Bradley Academy Museum, and it will go all the way down towards East Sevier Street and circle in front of Greenhouse Ministries on State Street. We'll have a kids zone, craft and art vendors, food trucks, live music, and a lot more. So go ahead and put that on your calendar. Splash Out, this is another popular program that we do 3 times during the summer. It's free. The fire department comes out with their fire truck, and the kids just play in the water, and it's very, I wouldn't say unorganized, but it's just free play. So it could be a little chaotic. Some like to sit down and swim in the puddles that are made. I mean, they get really creative what they do out there. It's from 1:30 to 3. It's for ages 12 and under. June 16th at the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex, July 7th at Barfield Crescent Park, and July 21st at Old Fort Park. It's a lot of fun. Wear water shoes and sunscreen. And this is something we're trying at Cannonsburg Village every Wednesday in June from 9 until noon. The blacksmiths will be out there doing demonstrations. And if you haven't had an opportunity to come and watch, it is fascinating. It's hot. I don't know how they do it in the summertime, but it's amazing what they can make. Again, 9 to noon every Wednesday in June. Our celebration under the stars, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric, will be on the 4th of July. We do have a lot of questions about, when is the 4th of July celebration. It is on the 4th of July. It will be staged at the Fountains at Gateway on Medical Center Parkway. We're planning on music. There'll be food there, plenty of parking, and a huge fireworks celebration around 9. So all of these and more. Oh, something I did want to mention while I was talking about the Cannonsburg, there are a few other programs that we're trying out. Tomorrow is a sewing skill builder. We'll have old-fashioned toys day, a day where there's story time and coloring, and 1 day of family lawn games. So check out those at Cannonsburg for some good old-fashioned fun. I know we're trying to get off of our screens a lot during the summer, so that's a good way to do that. So all of those and more can be found on our website at murfreesboroparks.com. And just look at our calendar of events and programs. You can tell by June, everywhere there's a blue dot means something's going on that day. And you can also click on it and search by location or by program, If you want to just type in the word kayaking, all the kayaking things will pop up. And of course, for those of you on Facebook, here are all of our Facebook pages, and we welcome you to check them out. And we also have the main Murfreesboro Parks and Rec Facebook page. So again, we have got so much more that I didn't even mention today. Check them out on the website or on Facebook, social media, Google it. We're out there. Does anybody have any questions?
As president of the Murfreesboro Rotary Club, we have appreciated year after year the opportunity to partner with the middle half and look forward to that date. So thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. The middle half does partner with a lot of organizations throughout town and gives a donation to these organizations so that they can do things in their mission.
I was right. There's a bunch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Melinda, and thank you to our wonderful staff for making all these events and days possible for our citizens. Is there any other business to come to the commission?
Yes, I did have one thing I wanted to mention. This past week, I went out to Borough Beach for the opening. Great crowd. Did have some concerns, and maybe you can answer it for me. I just wanted to know, was there a dress policy for the Borough Beach? And what I mean by that, sometime if there's no policy, that means any and everything is acceptable as far as swimwear, whether it's thong, whether it's Speedos, or whether it's see-through crochet bathing suits. And if there's no policy set in place, now it may be somebody out of the 500 or 300 people there may be offended by what somebody has on, and then somebody will tell, I guess, the aquatics director or somebody there at Parks and Rec that's at the pool that this person needs to remove because what they have on is offensive. Now, I dealt with this problem before because not at Borough Beach, but there was an issue that I had to solve that someone had on something that the customers thought it was offensive. So we there was a lot of talk about a big protest. So I said, well, let me get to the bottom of this, find out what was going on. And the conclusion was it really wasn't no policy on the apparel, what a person could and could not wear. So I'm just curious to avoid any kind of confrontation. If somebody calling me like, well, I got kicked out of Borough Beach because of my bathing suit, or I just wanted to know, was there a policy already set in plan? If not, we need to set one in plan today. So won't this be an issue?
Sure. Mr. Turner, we did revise those policies back in 2011 when we improved Borough Beach and renovated it. I need to go back and refresh it, my memory with those policies. So I'll do that and see if we need to come up with a new set of policies.
Okay.
But I'll work with our aquatic staff and see what we have standing right now.
Yeah, now, because, I was basically there looking at the facility and just seeing the new improvements. But I did see some things that kind of raised my eyebrows while I was there. So, like I said, I don't want to, no one to be offended or have to leave, because if you don't have a policy in place, you really can't say nothing. So let us work on that immediately, because it seems like it's going to be a busy summer there. And also, too, I noticed someone, like I said, someone posted on Facebook of some activities that happened there. And some of those activities was not pleasant. I think some boys that went into the girls' bathroom and was going through the lockers. But I noticed they did have a police on site, but he was outside the gate. But to me, I think you need that police present inside Borough Beach. You probably, with a crowd like that, because you was probably at max capacity, you probably need one on the outside and one inside as well, and some kind of security. I don't know if you can have some type of security or monitor the locker rooms, because, boys shouldn't be going in the girls' bathroom and girls shouldn't be going into a boys' bathroom as well. So
we agree. There is a policy for that.
Okay.
Our police department staff that work with parks specifically have done a tremendous job recently.
Yeah.
Especially last week with spring fling. I know they all were putting, 70, 80 hours in. The pool's a spot for us that we know we need a police presence. Excuse me. So I know they were there, and most times when they're there, they patrol inside the pool and then go out to the parking lot as well, where we have issues. Our operations staff patrol the restrooms as well. So I'll talk with staff, make sure we're doing everything we can to make sure we're patrolling those areas operationally, and I'll coordinate with the police department and see. A lot of times they do try to have 2 people there,
Right.
and they might get called off to another park facility because
Right.
we're pretty jam-packed right now at all of our parks.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll definitely take a look at that. I know, like I said, our operations staff meeting with them before the summer, that was something they were very aware of. This is the first year the pool's been open on time and some time due to circumstances. So we'll make sure that they're hitting everywhere, and we'll dust up that policy and make sure if we need to revise it, we'll take a look at it.
Right, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Good discussion. Anything else?
I would like to commend the Parks and Rec Department for the outstanding support for the performing arts community as well as the Murfreesboro City Schools. We're just doing such an exceptional job. I attended Matilda Junior, and the talent is amazing. But also the instructors and theater directors are just doing outstanding jobs with our children in this community.
Thank you, Dr. Morrow. We'll pass that along. Our staff is working hard in every area, and that's one area that's taken
They are.
a lot of strides in the past few years.
Anyone else? If not, we'll stand adjourned.